J.K. Rowling is a woman who cannot be stopped, and she is our favorite billionaire on the planet. And I think that what we've realized is she basically has so much power and so much money that Warner Brothers can't throw her under the bus, even when it would be politically correct to do so. She's been posting anti-transgender rhetoric on X since 2020, will be involved in the new Harry Potter TV show with HBO and Max content boss Casey Bloys saying, "I imagine she'll have opinions on casting." So this was the preface they gave to it. But I think that they're ready to defend her when the journalists keep trying to stir up controversy about this show. So HBO's parent company, Warner Brothers, has pointed to IP like Harry Potter as a priority moving forward. Still, that doesn't mean HBO is rushing to get the new series out the door. In one part of a recent Q&A, Casey Bloys, who is the head of content at HBO Max, clarified that J.K. Rowling is fairly involved in the early development of this series. One of the journalists brought up the controversy surrounding Rowling, who has anti-trans rhetoric on her X account. The reporter asked Casey Bloys how involved Rowling has been in the series and if her passionate views about trans issues have affected HBO's ability to find its cast. He said she has been fairly involved. She was fairly involved in the process of selecting the writer and director, and I imagine she'll have opinions on casting. It hasn't affected the casting or hiring of writers and production staff, so we haven't felt an impact from that.
You know what's funny is what a lot of the people who complain aren't willing to admit is that most people in these industries that are professionals aren't going to cut off their nose to spite their face. If it means they get to make some money and have a job, they're going to take it.
Sure, yeah.
Right? Like nobody's ditching Tulsa King season 3 because Stallone spoke for Donald Trump. Sorry, that's not going to happen.
Well, it's easy to stick to your principles without exception or nuance when you're poor and you have no money to make off of betraying your principles, or you're rich and staying true to your principles, which are leftist, actually enriches you. Mm. So J.K. Rowling is showing that she's the exception to the rule here. Casey Bloys comments on Rowling's social media posts and the backlash to them. This says, HBO confirmed the Harry Potter show. Casey Bloy called the controversy a very online conversation.
That's true.
And he added, "Our priority is what's on the screen. Obviously, the Harry Potter story is incredibly affirmative and positive and about love and self-acceptance. That's our priority. What is on screen?" I guess I agree, but Casey Bloys is just not the person to be saying this. Like, he is
because
the most chronically online guy. We have talked about him before. I recognized him from a previous segment where he was caught telling interns at Warner Brothers to start fake Twitter accounts and fight with people on Twitter if they didn't like HBO shows. Mm-hmm. Like, he was dictating clapbacks to interns to deliver on Twitter at like multiple different occasions. He had them create sock accounts so that they could start arguments with people who didn't like their shows.
It is a terminally online discussion, though. This whole thing is, right? Harry Potter is one of those things. One of the examples that I always give is like, if you look up J.K. Rowling on the internet, you get vastly different results than if you look up Harry Potter.
Sure.
Okay, so if you look up Harry Potter, the first 3 pages of search results are very likely going to all be related to Harry Potter events, Harry Potter attractions, Harry Potter merchandise, news updates regarding the franchise. Whereas if you look up J.K. Rowling, you see very little to do with Harry Potter on the front page, and you see mostly stuff to do with the media pretending to be shocked and appalled by her views on, trans issues as it relates to women. Yeah. But it is not one of those things that I feel permeates into normie culture that far. Her views, meaning that you could see the most normie of family YouTuber go to Harry Potter World or go to visit the Wizarding World at Universal Studios or whatever, and maybe there'll be some comments about J.K. Rowling's views in the comment section of those videos, but normies don't know or care. Mm-hmm. It's not relevant to them.
we actually hit the I think 22nd year anniversary for Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, I saw that
today, and I actually looked at the comments about it on Popbase. Most of them didn't even mention J.K. Rowling. Like, it's gotten to the point, it's such a relevant franchise that she's not associated with it, almost. Like, she has control behind the scenes, but people think about the story. They don't think about her. And that's a credit to her as a storyteller.
It is weird how everyone argues about whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And I think that conversation can be different now, considering that Harry Potter movies are in a lot of ways considered Christmas watching fare. Like, you watch Harry Potter.
A lot of people say that. I don't
come the
get
holidays.
I guess there's a Christmas that happens in each one, but it doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
At least that's my take on it.
You know, this work will outlive her far and wide, and the question will be down the line is who will care for this franchise when she passes on. Then you have to worry about how the franchise will be taken care of. She might be one of those ones who's like, over my cold dead body, just nothing. Like, nothing else to be made after I...
She lives in a castle and is a billionaire, so I'm pretty sure she has all the lawyers. Like, yep. She definitely has an ironclad will and is not going to let just some random great-grandchild ruin her story.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, your child might take care to do what they think you would have wanted for the property. Your grandchild may be... Your great-grandchild, not going to happen. Like,
yeah, The Lord of the Rings has taught us that. Exactly.
Yep. So... I just think I think that this is a perfect example of why people who complain about these things should understand that, above all, meritocracy matters. If you're really, really good, if you have delivered a product that gives strong return on investment all the time, you have the ability to dictate your terms. If you advocate for the right contract and you prove your worth time and time again. The problem is most people don't want to take that path because that's a much more long and arduous journey to bet on yourself and then succeed.
I just don't even think J.K. Rowling goes out of her way to draw attention to her political or social opinions or her opinions about gender. She just tweets.
Yeah.
She's not like she's doing interviews and she's making herself into some kind of media pundit. When she does interviews, it's almost always about her work.
Yeah.
And not her personal opinions. That's a very intentional choice.
I don't think she gives interviews talking about her Twitter, about stuff she talks about on Twitter.
Like, the last time I saw her do an interview, it was from May of this year, and it was about writing.
Yeah. Because
that's her bag, and she knows what it is. So everyone else is kind of obsessed with her tweets, and she's like, I don't even know who you are. She's literally that meme. So I think she's supremely unbothered, and we love to see it.
I hope that it continues, and I hope that more writers who stand up for their work will be able to do this in the future by taking ownership of their own properties. Certainly this will be more true as entertainment becomes more decentralized and people start creating their own things, right? Whether it's through crowdfunding or parallel economies, you don't have to worry about what people think of your tweets if you own your work.
All of those people suck anyways.
But here's the other thing. So if you were wondering, they haven't started casting on this franchise yet for the television shows, but it does look like they are looking for actor Mark Rylance to play Dumbledore. I was actually wondering who you get to play Dumbledore, given that it's such an iconic role this far on. But you have to get a fake beard.
Does he have to be gay?
I don't think so. I don't think that's a prerequisite.
But you can't be straight and play a gay
Yes,
character.
you can. Like that one's over. That, you know what that one is? That debate is up there with talking about being canceled in its irrelevancy now.
Yeah, talking about cancel culture in general.
Yeah, it is saying, like, should straight guys play gay characters or should gay characters play straight ones? I don't think anyone actually carries water for that debate anymore.
I do think they're going to go out of their way to make Dumbledore a hell of a lot more flamboyant.
He was in the books, so that will make perfect sense.
Yes. They toned it down for the movies.
There's a 20.
V. Witt, is that one?
Yep.
He said, my ex loved Harry Potter Every Christmas, I would make butterbeer, and we would binge watch the Harry Potter movies while opening presents. It was our tradition for years.
That's adorable. Honestly,
well,
I'm sorry it's your ex.
They're not together anymore.
I'm sorry, it's your ex. I would like to know how you make butterbeer, though. I don't know how you do that. Somebody asked if Chair was here. Chair is right there.
Is butterbeer just beer with butter in it?
I don't think so. I don't know what's in it.
What is it?
Somebody
is
would
it a
have to,
secret recipe that they only have at Universal Studios?
Yeah, somebody would have to give us the ingredients.
Is it alcohol?
I don't think so. Maybe it is.
Is it real beer or like what's the?
Somebody in the chat would have to let
What's the
you
deal?
know.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait and see. But all of these things are always encouraging, and I do once again want to issue my foremost apology for the kids who get cast in the show because they're gonna have a hell of a time for the next however many
ruin
years
their lives, to be honest.
it takes to make all 7 seasons of that show.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.